Hey everybody, we are going to rank the full moon movies that we saw this year.
But Safi, who are we?
We are Safi and Marco dish out on the movies.
Why?
Because we are. We are what we are. And we had watched 10 full moon movies. We did this last year. We did it the year before.
This year was a trial. It was trials and tribulations the full moon year, and I started this in 2020. I reviewed all of the Killjoy movies, which was like 5, and then I reviewed 5 other full moon movies. So I started the full moon week, and then we both watched them in 2021 and on. And what we do is Safi picks 5 and I pick 5. And needless to say, we both did a pretty bad job.
Well, I think too that when we watched these movies, what was the first one? We watched The Seventh Door first, right?
Yeah.
It kind of went fair and then really bad, and then it started going on the upswing, and then we weren't really sure. I mean, I thought the movie we just watched, which was The Subspecies, was going to be bad. Just because we'd seen so many terrible movies.
Yeah.
And so it was actually a pleasant surprise. So like Marco said in the previous video, that it was good that we didn't start off with that, because by the time we got to the end with some of these crappy ones, we would have been really, I mean, it would have left us with a bad taste in our mouths,
We would have ended the week with Haunted Casino.
Oh.
Or Creepozoids.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
So anyway,
Dodged a bullet.
So I guess if the worst one we saw was
number 10 was, and now let's first say, I thought the worst movie would be Haunted Casino. Safi thought the worst movie would be I can't remember.
I don't know.
So I'll have
I think I thought Magic Mirror was going to be the best.
No, you didn't.
No?
I don't think so. I'll pull that up really quickly. We do not have... Well, I have next year's movies picked out for me, but Safi has not picked anything out yet. We will post in the comments, because I think that we can talk about that more for the next week, like when we do those movies.
And that'll be next year.
Because it's already October. It's already October 1st, and we're kind of behind. There's like 1 million new release movies, and yeah. Page 4.
And The Penguin.
Yeah, 1 million TV shows too. Okay, Safi thought that the worst movie would be Shrunken Heads.
Oh.
Well,
and
that was a
actually
movie
was
you
pretty
picked
good.
out.
And that was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah. So, but the actual worst one was what, Safi?
I know, Creepozoids, right?
Yeah, Creepozoids. Now,
I just keep looking at I'm looking at Marco's got the rankings, the picks, just the posters, in the order in which we've ranked them. And I look at the Creepozoid. I look at the Creepozoid poster, and I'm like, what movie is that? Because it doesn't relate to the movie at all.
yeah.
And I get confused.
It looks like for a fantasy movie or something, but this movie, it was basically an Alien knockoff. It was not very good. It felt like it was like an extended TV show episode. It got so bad to the point of being funny, and it was just really fake and phony. It didn't feel like there was a story there that they really had to tell. You have anything to say, Safi?
No. You just look at the poster and you're totally confused. It's really a beautiful poster, but it doesn't relate to the movie.
Yeah, it's like for a different movie.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Blood Dolls. Safi, why don't you say what this movie was like? Because I don't even want to think about Blood Dolls. It was such a disappointment.
I don't know. I really didn't know what to expect. That's the thing. I try to temper my expectations, and when I picked that magic mirror and Shrunken Heads, I kind of and I didn't look at I didn't see the posters either. I thought, well, the names, the words sound good, and so I thought they would be.
Oh God!
They might be good. And for Blood Dolls, we've seen the Puppet Master movies, and so you're always curious as to how these puppet type movies are going to work out. Are they going to work out as good as the original Puppet Master series?
And this one did not.
No, it didn't. Only had 3 puppets in it.
And the puppets were hardly in the movie.
Right.
They were like a footnote. This movie, it had so many random and weird things in it. It was basically like a mishmash of weird crap. And the only good thing about it was what, Safi?
Well, I thought the dolls.
What? What about
the dolls were really well made.
Oh God, Safi, can't even remember the movie we watched yesterday. Her Alzheimer's is getting really bad.
No, I don't have Alzheimer's. Cut it out.
It had 2 endings.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, God.
I don't know how I could forget that because it's the only movie I think I've ever seen. Now, there's a movie at Christmas time that they had a focus group and they had a much more gruesome or darker ending, and that's It's a Wonderful Life. And when they presented that ending, which I just talked about, the focus groups didn't like it. So they changed the ending and made it more positive, which it's become a classic, and it is more, everybody likes the ending. So I just thought, even though this was kind of a substandard movie, it's not like It's a Wonderful Life, of course, it was still interesting and fun and different to have 2 endings, and you get your choice to see both and to decide which one you like. So that was a good thing. The dolls and the endings.
Yeah, because I was going to say that was the only good thing about the movie. The rest of the movie you could throw in the trash. Number 8, I'll talk about this one, was Magic in the Mirror. And this was kind of like a Wizard of Oz type thing. It was really weird. I don't know. I really don't think it was because I was feeling really ill. But I don't even know what happened in this movie. Like, it was some weird story about this little girl who goes into a mirror because of these berries. And there's these good people in a kingdom and then bad ducks, and the ducks turn people into tea, and it's a very strange movie.
And it's for kids.
It feels like an after-school special, and it's just really boring. Like, that was the trouble I had with it, was it was a nothing burger of a movie, and it just went on and on and on. It was like torture watching it. Safi, do you have anything else to say?
No, it was a kids' movie, and I didn't really even know that.
That's not an excuse.
Well, I know that, but I didn't know that. Like I said, I just looked at the words. I didn't even see the pictures, the posters.
That's a lie.
If I did, I don't remember them, because if I might have glanced at them.
But that's how you originally picked this movie. Because what I do is I pull up Tubi, Safi's got to scroll on Tubi, and pick out the movies from the posters.
Yeah, but it's just
and
like,
so she picked out this movie, and she knew it would be a kid's movie.
No, I didn't. I guess, but I didn't remember that.
It looks really weird.
And like we said, Full Moon has full moon movies, and then it has moonbeams. And the moonbeams are these kids' movies fall
under. That's not
under.
an excuse.
Marco, just shush up. This movie falls under the Moonbeams category. It says it on the movie that it's from the Moonbeams company, whatever.
Your face is a moonbeam.
So whatever. So let's move on. Let's move on to.
Go ahead. What's number 7?
Seven
about
is Trancers 3.
Yeah.
And,
big disappointment.
I didn't care for it. I liked the guy, the main character, and Helen Hunt was in it. And I never watched that show she was in. She was in a TV show. It was very popular. She was also in an Oscar. Won an Oscar, which is odd.
It was such a random thing. You're like, Helen Hunt was in it.
I just trying to think of pick out the pieces in the movie, and the story was, I don't know.
This movie, it just went on and on and on. And for 90% of the movie, we didn't know what the hell was even going on.
Well, that's what I was going to say, and I was afraid to say it.
Why?
Because you criticize everything I say.
But you said, you're like, Helen Hunt was in it.
Well, I mean, it's like they picked things to enhance the movie that didn't necessarily enhance the movie.
It'd be funny if someone just made a movie and it's like, oh, Helen Hunt was in it.
Well, I don't even know what she's been in since. I don't even know the name of the Oscar movie.
I'll look it up.
She was in that she won an Oscar. I don't know if it's one of those years, and I've never heard anybody complain about her getting it, so it must have been deserved.
Well, I remembered she was in Twister, which, Twister was I haven't seen it, but, okay, the movie I think she won an Oscar for was As Good As It Gets, which was like a really sappy drama movie with Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
And I did not like that movie at all because it advertised itself as a comedy and then it turned into a drama romance movie. And I have a really funny story about the movie, is that in psychology class, the teacher, she was a huge movie fan, and she mentioned As Good As It Gets, and she asked if anyone had ever seen it, and I was the only one in class who said that I saw it, and she said, "What'd you think about it?" And I said, "I didn't like it." And she got really upset. She got really, or she was just surprised. Like, I was like, I thought it was a piece of crap. I said it was advertised as a comedy, and it was like a sappy drama. Maybe I would have liked it better if I was expecting to watch a drama instead of a comedy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like Trancers 3, it was such a letdown after Part 2 was so good. I mean, Trancers 2 was a really good sequel, and then Part 3 was, like, complete trash.
Yeah. It's just the story didn't make any sense, but we went through it. We already reviewed it, so...
Number 6 is the movie I thought would be the worst movie. Haunted Casino, a.k.a. Dead Man's Hand, a.k.a. Casino the Damned. It was a crap movie. And it barely had anything going on. It was just bleh. And I don't even know what to say about it, frankly. Like, Safi, what do you... I mean, you always have something to say. Like, Helen Hunt was in it.
Well, there was... Well, they had gambling things in it, and I've never been into a casino. Well, I guess we've been into the Edge where they had a slot machine. I think I played it once or twice. But I've read the slot machines, the probability is they want you to come in there and they want you to spend a certain amount of money, and they will they fix the slot machines to where they will every 25th time, or I'm just making up a number, I don't know what it is, but it will reward the person. But it's a probability thing, so by the time you get done playing all your money, you probably won't win anything. So it's just, or you might come in and somebody's already played all those times, and then you do it once and you win a whole bunch. So it's the probability is not good for winning. And so, anyway, they had all the things. They had the... wheel, and you predict if it's going to be on the black or the red. And then they had the 21, the card game 21, which I only know about that because of The Price is Right. And they showed all this, but they had a girl, and she was a ghost. It was like full of ghosts. And she was what did they call her? The slot girl. Because she monitored the slot machines or something. And when they showed her getting mad and being a bad ghost, her eyes turned into slot machines. And I thought that was really cool. That was the coolest thing I thought about it. The rest of it, though, is not good.
I was like, Sophie, what do you think of that?
It's interesting because it's like an historical thing.
And then you said...
But you hardly even talk about it. You hardly know what happened.
And then you said, this movie has casino games.
Okay, Marco, let's move on. You want to say something about it? Because we have 5 more to do, and but this wasn't supposed to go on forever.
No, I asked you what you thought about the movie. You said that this movie has casino games.
Well, I mean, they were all covered up in dust and everything, but they ghosts.
Why wouldn't it have casino games? It's called Haunted Casino. Why wouldn't it have a casino game in a casino movie?
Well, I didn't think they would work, but the ghosts, all these different ghosts come back, and they manage these games for these people who, one of them inherited the whole thing. The other ones were just friends, and I didn't know they were going to show any at all. I just thought they were going to go to this place, and I didn't know what was going to happen. Like I said, there is no way to really, except maybe Trancers. You know what this guy, the main character, does, or you've had something like the Bloodstorm one. You know that you saw the other 3 movies, so you know who Radu is. And the Blood Dolls, you've seen Puppet Master movies. So, I mean, there's certain things about these that you might know a little bit, but the rest of it, you can't even begin to guess what it's about. Like Magic in the Mirror, what the hell? I mean, there's no way of predicting, unless you've read what the summary about it is, or you've seen a clip. And I try not to do that.
Number 5 is actually the movie I thought would be the best movie of the week, which is laughable. And the movie was Doll Graveyard.
Yeah.
I really did not like this movie. It was lame. It was a knockoff of Puppet Master. And the only good thing about it was the opening scene, which was actually a pretty good horror movie opening scene.
Yeah, but then it went to hell the rest of the...
Yeah, the dolls were terrible, too. Like, this was not like Blood Dolls, where the dolls were cool. The dolls sucked.
And this was supposed to be like 19...
No, this was 2005.
No, but originally, the historical incident they opened the movie up with...
Yeah.
This is back in the days with... what do you call it, the Victorian age, and the dolls that they had for the school to play with, I don't know where they got them. That would have been an interesting story, like in Gremlins, you know, the guy goes abroad and he brings back this package or goes to the store.
But we never see where he got the gremlins from.
Yeah, but this...
They weren't gremlins. They're not gremlins, Sophie. What are they called?
I don't
come
know,
on.
Mark.
Oh, come on.
Well, anyway,
Oh! The Mogwai. Come on.
I would not remember that. But
Oh, shit.
Marco, don't do that.
Fuck.
Marco,
Don't
do that.
Are you
Don't
kidding
swear
me?
Like that. Do you really?
It's the fucking Mogwai.
Okay, but anyway, there's no way a girl in this historical time period who's like 8 or 9 or 10 would have dolls like these.
Okay.
And they were the ugliest dolls you could ever imagine.
Yeah, they really were like... They didn't even look good before they were put in the graveyard.
Oh, I know. know.
So
I mean, the ones they have for that other puppet movie, the Blood Dolls,
they were really cool.
they were really well made.
And
they were really beautiful collectible
That's
items.
that's why I was so excited about the movie, because I thought, oh, cool, these puppets look awesome. Maybe this movie's going to be really hardcore, but no, it's just hardcore bad. But Dog Graveyard, most of this movie was like a lame teenage comedy story about like these jocks and then these girls, and it was so bad. I really wish I could put this movie lower. That's how much I didn't like it. Safi, talk about number 4, because this one was also, it could have been a lot better, but it was still okay.
Well, it was Sideshow,
Yeah.
and it was, all these, it was like back, we watched an American Horror Story,
Oh my god.
which talked about, it was the Freak Show one, and these were like Freak Show characters, but they were weird, and then you have these kids that go in, and one of them just disappears. And I mean, the only good thing about the movie was the little guy, oh God, what's his name? The dark-haired guy who portrays
He's the ringleader
ring
of the
master
Sideshow.
and leader, and Phil Monte Carlo or something like that. And he's a very good actor.
He's a great actor.
He's been in a lot of different movies.
He's the
like
best
this.
part of this movie. This movie, for the most part, it was very weird, and it had such an abrupt ending. It was really frustrating because it felt like it wasn't complete. It felt like these characters, they just let these bad things happen to them.
Well, one volunteered to
Yeah.
have it happen to him,
Yeah,
which was odd.
it was very odd.
But I think he was dying, though. I think he had some kind, but you couldn't tell, he had some kind of like nerve disease where he'd eventually just lose all of his bodily functions. But his brain was perfect. I mean, he was helping everybody figure out what was going on. He was saying very logical things, but he is the only one. I've never seen this either, where somebody volunteers to get screwed up. And
I think I have, but this movie was it was disappointing, though, because it mostly just felt like they wanted to display these special effects.
Yeah.
Like the whole movie was a glorified sideshow.
Yeah. So, but it was
Number
interesting.
Number 3 is Shrunken Heads. This was the movie Safi thought would be the worst.
Well, I just wasn't sure. And the heads, they don't look. Have you ever seen a shrunken head?
Yeah.
I think I saw one when I was a kid, and I think we've been to we went to that convention in Philadelphia several years ago, and I think didn't they have shrunken heads there, or
I don't know.
shrunken head? They always have weird stuff for sale. They'll have good stuff like candy or T-shirts.
Well, no, they had the weird stuff at the Days of the Dead in Chicago in 2016.
Maybe that's it.
There was this weird guy. He looked like a biker or something. He had like postcards from Mr. Manson,
Yeah.
and stuff
Charles
like that,
Manson.
and stuff like that, and so, yeah.
And so, but anyway, these heads, they look like, what a softball looks like. Not a regular baseball, but a softball. It's much bigger. That's what they look like on the picture, on the cover, and even at the beginning. And it's kind of a sad story, a bittersweet story, I should say. And it's kind of like West Side Story. You have the bad guys, or the outsiders, or, there's just a lot of that kind of flavor in it, with the supernatural bent of a Haitian immigrant who has become a citizen there, and he has a booth, one of those booths in New York that sells like newspapers and magazines and comic books, and he's like a voodoo guy. although they say at the beginning they don't know what he is. He's either a magician or he's a policeman, like the secret police or something. He was back in Haiti. So anyway, he helps these kids, but they're dead. And that was the thing about them.
Safi, the reason why this list video has become so long is because...
you're the one that asked me to talk.
Okay, well, don't talk anymore.
Okay, well,
So
anyway.
Shrunken Heads was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
It kind of had a really sad story to start. It was ultimately, though, really simplistic. It was like RoboCop, The Toxic Avenger. It's a story that's been done before. It was interesting because it had like Danny Elfman style music, and it was directed by Danny Elfman's brother.
Which is very interesting. What else has he made, I wonder?
I don't know, but apparently, and now someone posted a review about this movie back in like the 2000s. That's what's really funny about IMDb is that they've been around since like the 90s, so you can read all these vintage movie reviews. There was this one guy, and he said that he's a huge Scientologist, and that he would go on to... This was back when IMDb had message boards, which they got rid of because they didn't want fans to be able to have opinions anymore and share them publicly. And he would go onto IMDb message boards and attack people who attack Scientology. The Danny Elfman's brother. So yeah, he is a retard in real life. But for a retard, he made a really good movie. Scientologist idiot made a good movie. So number 2 is actually the movie that Safi thought would be the best movie of the week, which is...
So it's number 2.
Beyond
so that's pretty close.
Well, it's just funny that it actually got this far. Beyond the Seventh Door. This was essentially a Saw-like movie before Saw happened, and you have this Richard Ramirez, Tommy Wiseau-looking guy, who apparently he's Yugoslavian, which is
interesting.
Which is why he's so weird. And then you have this woman who looks like a 1980s prostitute, and this movie is one of the most entertaining good bad movies I've ever seen. I could watch this movie again. I would say out of all the movies on this list, I would immediately pick to watch this movie again. It's highly entertaining in a good bad way. But the sad thing is that it could have actually been a really good movie. And the worst thing about it is the ending, because the main character, he makes a decision that is so brain dead and dumb that it breaks boundaries of stupid character decisions.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
There's a bomb at the bottom of a briefcase. It's connected to the briefcase. It was all dirty and dusty, and he wiped off the dust and dirt very, very carefully.
And it was like a 5-minute sequence of him rubbing the dust off of the bomb.
And there's wires and things that he knows it's a bomb. But he doesn't think that there's multiple ways a bomb could be triggered. He's just totally focused on one way.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which means, I don't know, what did he do to, he thinks that if you move, he thought picking up the briefcase.
Well, that's what I thought at first. I thought the briefcase is attached to this bomb, so maybe it's, if you pick up the briefcase with the money, it'll explode. But maybe if you take all the money out, but then I wouldn't even care. I would be so cautious about it that I wouldn't even take all the money out, because I think that would be an idiotic thing to do.
Well, you just don't know. I mean, there's been multiple movies that dealt with this kind of thing, and they all did them differently.
And there wasn't a red wire and a blue wire for him to cut either, so...
And I don't know if he would know what to do.
He'd be like, what do I do? Because that's how he talked the whole movie.
His girlfriend was with him, but she was standing outside the door because they have a big thing was that she knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
She was hoping that he would do the right thing and not take any money.
Yeah.
Because the offer was that the person who had set all these traps and they got through them, he said that you'll get, if you just pass that by, you'll get the most special gift of all. And for some reason, he just couldn't let it go about the money. And the special gift of all was his life. So he killed himself, basically, because he made the wrong decision. So he took all the money out, and the weight of it was, and you could see below, they showed it like a gradual thing. The timer, the thing that would set it off, moved closer and closer to being set off. I mean, you could see it moving every time he picked up more money. It was a briefcase full of money, and it was open. And every time he picked it up, and he was being very careful getting the money out, which is hilarious. And
yeah, and so number 1 is subspecies 4, Bloodstorm,
which we just saw,
and we just reviewed. And this was surprising because everyone said this was a bad movie.
I don't agree.
And I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was an entertaining, fun movie. It was a very puzzling conclusion to the series. But I watch it again. I think it's a good vampire movie. And I think we literally just talked about the movie for 30 minutes, so I don't want to talk about it for 30 more minutes.
Well, it was a nice surprise, and that's what we felt. We had seen all these kind of bad movies, substandard, mediocre, questionable endings, questionable stories, etc., etc. And then this is the last one we see, and we think, well, man, I didn't think it would be any good. I mean, we've had a terrible experience now, 10 terrible experiences, and 9, and then we watched this, and it turned out good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and let us know if you're going to watch any of these, or because they're on. Well, some of them are on Amazon Prime. Like for instance, this one movie we just saw, the Subspecies 4. It's not on Tubi. It's on Amazon Prime, and there's a couple of others that were on Amazon too. And you didn't have to pay anything. They were with your membership. But the rest are on Tubi. Tubi is free. Sometimes you can find these in YouTube, these movies, and they're free. So whatever. But let us know what you think, and that's it. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye.